You're watching the Battered Fans Network.
Chris, the Herons are back. Welcome everybody to episode number 280 of the Battered Herons podcast. I am your host, Daniel Granada, and alongside me, as always, Mr. KBD. How are you doing, sir?
Listen, today is a fun day. We got Club World Cup talk.
Yep.
It's still cold outside, so make sure you guys wear your jackets while you can. I mean, it's not cold. I don't think it's cold. I'm just wearing it because, you know, it's the reason for the season, baby.
So we got Club World Cup. We got expansion draft next week. We're going to talk about the players that could possibly be, I guess you would say, protected. And then we got Leagues Cup news. And we have possible, if we have time, a little bit of finish up on that zombie talk, because I know that you guys in the Discord were going back and forth about that for a while. So a lot to get to, but let's start with obviously the story of the day, which was the Club World Cup. And my keyboard isn't working. Oh well. So we finally got the draw. I mean, I don't know. Everybody seems to be pleased with the draw. So let me first put up the image here. There were 4 pots. We were in the 4th pot. Okay, you get every group is made up of 4 teams, and you get 1 team from each pot. So obviously, the first pot has the heavy hitters. So if you're into Miami, you're hoping that whatever team you draw from the first pot, you don't get a Man City. You don't get a Real Madrid. And we were able to avoid Bayern Munich. We were able to avoid PSG. For the most part, like if you wanted one, not that we're better than them, right? That's not what I'm saying. But you wanted to get one of the South American, either the 3 Brazilian or one of the Argentinian teams, right? River Plate or one of the 3 Brazilian teams. And we ended up against Palmeiras. Now, I know Palmeiras is a good team. Richard Rios plays there. He is an absolute baller. He's Colombian, for those that don't know. So I know about Palmeiras. Do I think that we are going to beat them? No. Do I think that we have a better chance of beating them than any of the? Well, you know what, PSG. I don't take that seriously. But do I think that we would fare better against them than we would against Man City, Real Madrid, and Bayern Munich? Absolutely. So as far as pot 1, I thought we lucked out, and then pot 2, we avoided Chelsea, Dortmund, Inter Milan, and Atletico Madrid, and we got Porto. Porto, a good team from Portugal, but again, not as bad as it could have been. And then you got pot C and D, which are relatively similar. How are you feeling, Chris? Before we start looking at the chat to see how everybody else is feeling, and I see that Tommy said he wants to talk zombies. Tommy, you know how it goes. You've been here long enough. You know we leave the gas bagging for the end of the show, sir. So if you want to stick around for the football talk, feel free. But that about minute 50, I'd say. Well, I don't know if we're gonna go a full hour, but later on, Tommy, later on.
Yeah, so don't worry, sooner rather than later. I was looking at the statistics of Ali, right? I have no idea who anybody is on that team. So that automatically is a dub. Okay. I'm just gas bagging here. I'm just acting like a fan. That's a dub. That's a dub.
Oh, okay. Well, no. Let's not do that. No, it's not a dub. It's not a dub. It's just a preferable matchup.
That's a dub, right? So then now I look at FC Porto. There's like 2 names I recognize.
Oh, no. Don't do that. You know, we're not going with your soccer knowledge of players, sir.
I'm just telling you, like, this is how I'm giving it to you. If you whether you want to take it or not, that's your deal. Listen, that's another dub in my books, right? Palmeiras is the one team where I've seen some of the FIFA cards here. Okay, I've seen guys with some hefty FIFA cards on this team.
No, so but Porto has some good FIFA cards also.
But not like Palmeiras. Like, I mean, if we're gonna keep it a buck,
assume that. I don't know if we're gonna start breaking down. We're gonna start breaking down FIFA cards right now, but I'm pretty sure that Porto's probably is ranked higher than Palmeiras.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just telling you. I don't know, man. It's dubs all over the place. I mean, look, Pablo Golasso, you're probably not wrong. They're a good team. I don't watch any of these teams, so I'm literally just spewing at the mouth. No knowledge, guys. I'm just going off of what I see, with the players. I mean, what is it? This Al Ali, they're third in the Egyptian Premier League. I don't even know what to do with that. I don't even know what to do with that. They have 2 wins, 2 draws, and 0 losses. Good job, buddy. You guys are literally average.
I think the Don said that they won. They were the champions of Africa. Is what I think I saw Don Cafecito just put.
I didn't see it, so it never happened, Don. That's just, that's just how I roll, baby. Like, this is Dub City. This is Dub City, Danny.
All right. Well, although I am not co-signing anything that Chris says right now, I will say, as far as matchups are concerned with the pots that were possible, I think in pot 1, again, Palmeiras, although better than us, a favorable matchup. Then pot 2, again, Porto's good, but I'd rather see them than Inter Milan. I'd rather see them than Dortmund. I'd rather see them than Chelsea.
Yeah, of course.
I think Benfica and Porto would have been the 2 options that you want out of pot 2. And then pot 3, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't recognize just about any of those. I mean, I guess it would have been best to end up against one of the Mexican teams, maybe Monterrey or León. But regardless, we ended up against Ali, and then we were the 4th team. Again, I thought that it could have been a lot worse. A lot of people are saying, and because I am part of a couple of groups now that have MLS fans from across the league, and a lot of those chats are saying that Inter Miami was helped out quite a bit, that the Sounders got the raw end of the deal because the Sounders ended up in the group of death, and Inter Miami got a because look, everybody sees it. Although nobody thinks, Inter Miami's going to go ahead, like Chris is saying, and kick everybody's ass, right? Nobody's saying that outside of Chris, but this was a good outcome considering.
But okay, it was rigged. Dude, I saw the guy play with the balls, put his hand up one time, and then reach for a ball. And he opened it up.
Well, they have to make rigged. It. Look,
this isn't the NBA draft.
Patrick Ewing 85 was rigged, and he did it
Get
with the balls
here.
also.
No, it wasn't. Listen, there's a lot of evidence out there, but nobody knows concretely what happened with Patrick Ewing. Let's not even get into that talk right now, because now I'm just getting uncomfortable. Okay. Fact of the matter is I saw the guy grab balls. He grabbed a random ball. And Seattle, I'm sorry, but you guys took a fucking L. Like, that's not our fault. I don't know what to do with that. I mean, you guys are cooked. There's people asking in the chat, are we cooked? No, we're not cooked. It's Dub City, baby.
Yeah, no, I definitely am not saying Dub City. But I do think that if we were going to get a decent result out of a group and a possibility to get out of the group stage, I think this was the best outcome for us. That's why so many people are saying that it was fixed for us, because this is probably as good as it could have gotten for us. Look, I don't know Ali, champs of Egypt, that's fine. I have no idea who they have. I'm assuming if they're the champs of Egypt, they're a good team, but I'm assuming that Inter Miami is going to come back with a solid team. If we're healthy and we can bring some reinforcements in the offseason, I think that Inter Miami can compete with Ali, right? And that's just me not knowing them, right? I'm just going to put it out there. I think that with this team that we're going to bring in, I think we can compete with them. So now the hope is to end up with a draw against Palmeiras or Porto, right? If you can draw with one of those 2 teams or even beat them, then you have a chance of getting out of the group stage. And out of those 3 teams, it's obviously the only team that Miami you have hope that they could right out beat is that Egypt team. And that is why that's the team that's opening up the Club World Cup inaugural game that we're hosting on June 15th here in Miami, because Palmeiras and Porto, I mean, we don't feel as good about beating them. So they want to make Inter Miami look as good as possible. So that's why we're hosting the only team that we could probably beat.
I think we can hand it over to Porto. I mean, listen, I'm going to name you the players on Al Ali. There's Iman Ashur, Wessam Abu Ali, Akraf Dari.
We're not gonna know any.
I'm just telling you, I don't know any of them. FIFA doesn't know them. EA 25 doesn't know them. I don't know them. This is a dub. Like, I don't know how else to describe this, Danny. Like, am I being too drastic here? Like, chat, am I being drastic? Is this a dub city or L City? I mean, it's either one or the other, Danny.
Yeah, and then El Bigote saying Estevao from Palmeiras is going to absolutely roast us. Yes, him and Richard Rios. I've been hearing those two names for a while since I started trying to keep up with Palmeiras because of Richard Rios. And yes, those two are
They got a
absolute
couple things.
ballers.
They got a couple
So
things.
them again, Porto, and and I'm gonna tell you why I feel not horrible about this Club World Cup, which also goes into why I'm not very excited about it. I don't think the European teams are going to take it all that serious.
That's not cool. That's gonna suck because then it's gonna feel like the teams who are advancing aren't like earning it from the best of the best. That's gonna really suck.
When players end their season in late May, and if they go in and play in the Champions League, let's say hypothetically, right? Who's in pot one? Let's say hypothetically, right? Let's say two top teams. Let's say Manchester City somehow gets their shit together and plays against Real Madrid or Bayern Munich in the Champions League final, right?
Yeah.
That means they're playing up until possibly the first week of June. You think after winning the biggest club trophy in the world, because I'm sorry, Club World Cup or not, that's considered the biggest club trophy in the world. A week later, after they've had a long season, they're going to be like, all right, now let's get our number one team, right, our A team, a week later, and let's go to the United States for the next month to compete in this random-ass tournament. No, they're not doing it. I can almost guarantee you that the top teams in Europe aren't going to care about this.
Well, I mean, Steve Munoz is saying South American teams could have heavy rotations as well.
So this is why I'm not that excited about this Club World Cup. I know they're trying to hype it up, but outside of maybe teams in the Americas, and look, and don't obviously said the South American teams probably rotate also. Like a lot of teams aren't going to take it seriously. Yeah, you're playing the name, you're playing against the name, but I think a lot of those teams are going to bring their A team. Some of those players, hypothetically, Chris. Let's say you are an absolute baller, right?
Yes,
you're a baller. And your contract ends at the end of the 2024 season, meaning May or June or beginning of June, right? And that tournament starts June 15th. I am going to assume that they have to work out something contractually because, I guess the contract's going until June 30th, but the tournament goes until mid-July. They have to work something out to extend you if they want you to play in this tournament. If they don't extend you to play in this tournament or for the next season, are you really going to suit up for PSG, knowing that you could possibly get hurt before you go into the transfer window in July? I'm not. I'm not risking my health for that shit. I just played a full season for this team. I really do think that this is going to be a watered-down tournament. I do think that will give Inter Miami some hope, but I'm not necessarily excited for it. Because I don't think that the rest of the world, even though it's the Club World Cup, is taking it as seriously as the MLS fans and some other places want it to be taken. I really don't think it's going to be that serious.
So then you're in the boat of the Don here saying it's a glorified friendly tournament. Not that anyone is taking it serious. So I guess everybody's in
They're
agreement.
naming it the Club World Cup to give it some pizzazz. It was like, ooh, Inter Miami's in the Club World Cup. But in all reality, nobody gives a fuck about it. Nobody cares. Especially people in Europe. I think Real Madrid literally said that they want to try to find a way to get out of it.
Well, okay, let's see here. I mean, look, Jaden is challenging you, saying players do it all the time for their international teams, Danny.
Oh, 100% for their international teams. Not for their clubs. They'll play for free for their international team. That's in your blood. You don't care about the club.
Hold on.
Do you think no. Messi literally leaves us when he has contractual obligations to play for Inter Miami. He leaves us to go play for Argentina. You care about your country. Yeah, you like your club. You might learn to love your club, but it's country over club always. So yes, when you go into the summer and you play in a Copa America, in I'm blanking on the European name, or the World Cup, that's your country. Of course you don't care. I want to play for my country, but for your club, if your contract's running out, nah, I'm sorry, they don't care.
But now this is a good point. By Sean always drops dimes here. As a business, 100 million is a lot of money if you win. That's not shit on money. Now, I don't know
100
whether
million for
that's
who
true.
gets that? The club
Like,
gets that?
I don't know. I mean, that's the way
How,
that
how much of
Sean,
that
I guess,
trickles down to the players?
I mean, I'm assuming that the players are getting some earning off of this, no? Or
I
is
would
this like
assume
a just
so.
a
Right?
is
No,
this
no,
like
they
just a
can't.
participation tournament?
Yes, but even if it's a friendly tournament, they have to get paid for it. Like that's what I'm saying. I don't know how that's gonna work out.
All
But
right,
look,
so
like I said, I'm not excited for this. I'm not excited for this, and I'm putting it out there. If we do well, that's awesome, and I'm gonna talk shit like, "Ooh, we're doing well in the international tournament." I know myself. I'm gonna talk mad shit, but I'm not excited for it because other teams aren't taking it that seriously.
I'm going to tell you right now, Porto in their standings are in Liga Portugal, they're 10 wins and 2 losses, and they have 30 goals for. I mean, these guys must be playing a ton of cupcakes. And then you have in Serie A, Palmeiras, they have 22 wins, 7 draws, and 8 losses for 60 goals. They actually have the most goals in Serie A. So Palmeiras, I was pretty on the money. Palmeiras, I'm a little nervous about. It's still Dub City, baby. I don't know. Listen, we got game breakers here. We got game breakers, game changers.
Well, like I told you, I think that we can get out of the group stage. You beat the Egypt team in the opening game, right? And I want to talk about the attendance for that game in a second, right? But let me finish this thought. You beat that team, then you somehow get a draw against either Palmeiras or Porto. All of a sudden, you have a good chance of moving on.
All I'm telling you is we got Messi and Ali. You know who they have? Ali Malul. Percy Tau. You have a guy named Percy on your team. You're losing.
Now, Percy Harvin was a pretty badass in the NFL.
Who's using Percy's now? Who's naming their kids Percy at this point?
Percy Harvin was.
How many Percys? Yeah, but Percy Harvin, like, okay, that's like the anomaly. Like, who? Give me popular Percys. There's no Percy that's important right now other than Percy Harvin.
And Ricardo said, is there anything that Danny does like? I do like the MLS Cup. And you know what else I like? I like batterfans.com. 20% off with promo code HOHOHO24. Fueled by Cafecito y Football. You can get this shirt or any other shirt 20% off up until the 11th or 10th. Percy Jackson.
Okay, but I'm just telling you, like, there's not many good Percys in this world. Who's using Percy these days?
Soccer Daddy saying Seattle winning the Club World Cup. Now, let's put this up.
What?
Seattle ended up with PSG, Atletico Madrid. I forget how to pronounce the name, Botafogo or something. The team that literally just won Copa Libertadores. I don't think that Seattle is going to fare very well in that group. They're calling it the group of death. So I unfortunately, and that's why so many MLS people are upset, right? Because there's 2 MLS teams. One ended up in the group of death, and one that ended up with probably the best chance of getting out of there. So
that's just how the balls bounced. That's how they were jiggled, Danny. I mean, there's nothing you could do about that. If everybody wants to talk about conspiracies and stuff, get out of here. Like, that should have been tossed out the window with the MLS Cup, and now you're going to talk about balls were prepared? Get out of here.
I'm not going to lie to you. I thought that Inter Miami was going to end up in Pot A because they were the host city. I really that's what I thought. And I thought that we were going to get lucky and get a great draw that way, because that way we would have even avoided Palmeiras, and we would have had one of the other teams from Pot 4. But such is life. All right, so I'm not excited about it, but they did announce June 15th, Hard Rock Stadium is going to be the first game, and we're playing against Ali, the Egypt champs.
Al-Ali. I think that's how it's said.
Okay,
I don't know if you're supposed to say the H. Al-Ali.
I'm trying, guys. Me and just correct me, Botafogo. I know Gregory's there, and he Kevin Nash somebody to start the game right into face.
Good for him. Good for him.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a tackle. Are you kidding me? Give me more of that. Give me more. If you told me that Gregory would do that, and with Toto, forget about it. Nobody's gonna want to go past.
Toto gets kicked out of the game. No, Toto gets kicked out of the game for that, and then you're cussing him out. But Gregory does it, and you're happy.
I want both of them to just demolish people. There's no way they're gonna attack us with those two juggernauts back there.
So we were talking about hypotheticals, right? First game of the Club World Cup against Inter Miami. You can do some crazy stuff. You can do PSG, into Messi's old club. You could do Real Madrid. Oh, look at that. All of a sudden, you got him against his playing against Real Madrid one last time. Like, we were building up all these scenarios in our head about what's the sexiest draw. Well, as it turns out, we're playing against Al Ali in that very first game. For some reason, they decided to play this in an 80,000 seat stadium instead of the 28,000 Chase Stadium.
Yeah, man.
Big mistake, I think.
Huge.
Because with this draw, that stadium's going to be half empty.
Oh, for sure. It's going to look awful. It's going to look absolutely awful. There's no way they're packing 80,000.
No. And it's in the middle of the season. The Messi diehards have gotten their Messi fix for the last like 3 or 4 months at that point, right?
Yeah.
In a smaller stadium when you can get a better look at him. So, and then you think, what, the next week they're going to go ahead and they're going to pay top dollar to go watch him up in the nosebleed section at the Hard Rock Stadium? You crazy? Like,
no way.
Now, I don't think Jorge Mas has anything to do with this, right? This is all FIFA and MLS and all that other stuff. But horrible job. Horrible job. Because that stadium is going to be half empty. Half empty. 100% half empty.
Yeah, they got a bad pull. And I mean, if they would have had somebody like a little bit more with notoriety or a bigger name, then maybe you would have had like 75% capacity.
If they put them against Palmeiras in that first game, I promise you it's almost full.
Yeah.
Or at least 75%. Because you have a lot of Brazilians out here. And I there's a lot of people that support Richard Rios. It's Colombian. You got some ballers. Like, that's a sexier matchup, right? Palmeiras is a known team in South America. If you're from South America, you don't mind going to watch Palmeiras play.
Yeah.
I think I'm fucking gonna go watch Al Ali. No, like, yeah, I might go to support Inter Miami, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think the stadium is gonna be packed. Like, I think it was a big misstep by whoever is setting that up that put it in Hard Rock. They should have just left it in Chase Stadium.
These are two opinions right here. The Galactic Prophet saying it's gonna sell out.
This guy isn't a prophet.
I mean, you guys.
This guy isn't a prophet.
You're on rocks, buddy.
You're crazy. You're crazy. No prophet.
Rocks. And then AZ Rebellion is saying at least 80%. Like, I don't think we're getting anywhere near 80% with this matchup against Al Ali. Like, there's no way.
And the prophet saying that the tickets will be $40. I still don't think they'll sell out. Honestly, it's 80,000 seats, like, or 75,000 seats. That's too many seats on a Friday night here in Miami. I'm sorry, it's not happening.
For that, you plan a week before or a week after to watch a home game.
Yeah,
at Drive Pink for like maybe $20, $30 more. You'll get a way better view of the guy that you came to see anyway. The only difference is you're driving like what, 25 miles north. Aside from that, I mean, Mez, you're saying it's going to be 85%? Dude, I do not think it's going to be 85%. There's no way. I mean, look, Dennis Lopez is saying there's no way it sells out. Absolutely not. No, there's no way.
I'm going to see how many people attended the Argentina-Colombia Copa America final.
Well, I mean, look, Love Logic.
That was so sold out that there was people climbing into the vents. So you know that was.
No, that was they had more people than they had seats. Exactly. Love Logic. Yeah, but I mean, but that's of course country versus country. That's very different. You have Love Logic here that's saying Miami filled a 72,000 seat stadium against an MLS team. Calm down. You're telling me to calm down, buddy?
Okay, but Love Logic. Let's use some logic here. They did that against a MLS team in Kansas City, which Kansas City unfortunately doesn't get to see Messi every week. If you were to play this game in maybe Levi Stadium in San Francisco, if you were to play this game in anywhere that isn't anywhere near Florida, where people can watch Messi on a weekly basis for $50-$60 and have a great view of him, then maybe you're right. But Love Logic, let's use some logic. If I can pay $50, $60, $80 to watch him from the third row the week before. Do you really think I'm going to go watch him at the Hard Rock Stadium the next week?
No way.
I'm sorry, it's not happening. Again, if it's out of Florida, maybe. But love logic. Let's use some logic. It's not happening here in Miami, not in the Hard Rock Stadium. That thing, I'm not saying it's going to be empty, but it's not going to be anywhere near full. 60% maybe, 70%.
And I think the viewpoint when you watch a football match, right, like a soccer game, in Hard Rock, isn't as great, especially in the nosebleeds. So, like, you're losing a real good vantage point versus going to see the team at Dry Pink. Like, it's a little bit more of an intimate sort of setting when it comes to seeing them play at Dry Pink.
And real quick, I thought that the capacity was higher. One row, one goal was right. For the Colombia-Argentina game, the attendance was 65,300. So it's a lot smaller. I thought it was almost 80,000. It's only 65,000.
That's still packed.
Yeah, no, 65. It's still a lot, but that's a lot less than I thought. So maybe, yeah, I think they could get 40,000 in there.
I don't know, dude. Against Al Ali, I don't see that happening, buddy.
Yeah,
I don't see that happening. I think it's going to be a tough draw.
Yeah. Well, it's not going to be as empty as I thought, because I thought it was 80,000. So 65,000. It won't look as bad as I was predicting, because it's a lot smaller than I had originally thought.
Well, I mean, I think that it's going to be a good showing. I think that luckily we got a really good draw. I mean, it just happened to be how the ball bounced. Okay, guys, and it is what it is. I think that we're going to have a lot of success, and it's going to be Dub City. Yep. Dub City.
Well, that's definitely the game that we could win. So if you got to go out to a game to watch them, that's it. All right. Anything else you want to touch on Club World Cup before we keep moving?
No, I mean, I think that's basically, I mean, that's it. I mean, look, Carlos is saying here, got to sign some players so they don't get embarrassed. I mean, against these teams, I don't think. I mean, the further you advance, I think it may be important, but we're going to have to see how this plays out. There was a tweet that we put out on the Battered Herons on Twitter where someone had mentioned that, I forgot who it was, Danny, that said that maybe the MLS is going to change the ruling on roster rules or whatever.
MLS moves. I was going back and forth with him a little bit, because he said that unless the MLS changes the rules,
that we're going to get mopped,
or that they need to change the rules so we don't get mopped. And I said I'm all with them changing the rules, but they can't change the rules based off of this tournament.
Yeah, because
if the only way you compete with teams in this tournament, right, and that's hypothetically saying that they're going to take it seriously, which I don't think they're going to take it seriously, but hypothetically taking it seriously, you would have to eliminate the salary cap altogether, or something close to that, because these teams are working with a lot more money than the MLS teams. So you would be completely changing the foundation of this league for Inter Miami and Seattle in hopes that they'll have a good performance. So you can't look at it and be like, oh, we need to change the rules because we need to do good in this tournament. No, like, yes, I do think that we need to change the rules, but not because of this tournament. Like,
just generally speaking, it needs to change.
But we can't do it based off of this, because if we're doing it based off of this, there's going to be some radical changes. There's going to be some radical changes happening in order for us to compete with these teams. And we're going to do it just because it's Miami and Seattle are in there. Like, I think that we can't look at this tournament as the reason as to why we're going to change things.
Well, and that's where I think you're going to get a lot of like, oh, the fix is in for Inter Miami to have success. Like, the last thing MLS wants to do is put some sort of change before the tournament starts, because that'll show immediately that there is some sort of a fix in.
Well, I heard rumblings, and I don't know if it was, I don't remember where I heard it. So let me just put it out as allegedly, right? Like you like to say?
Allegedly,
that there was going to be like a mini transfer window that the MLS will allow in like before this tournament for like a week, right? Yeah. Now, allegedly, I forgot where I heard it, so that's why I can't say it as a fact. I can't remember where I heard that, but that they're looking into possibly opening up a short, like, mini transfer window, like at the end of May or like the first week of June or something, right before the tournament starts, obviously to help out with the tournament. So, again, don't take that as fact. I'm just letting you know something that I believe I heard. And if I remember where I heard it and I find it, I'll bring it up in the show. But as of right now, I'm just letting you know that I did hear those rumblings somewhere.
Listen, I want to mention this comment before we move forward. Esteban Dito, shout out to Esteban, saying if ATL upset us in the MLS playoffs, we can't or should not be that optimistic. Let's stop drinking on the pink Kool-Aid bowl. No, not for sure, Danny. I'm chugging on the pink Kool-Aid bowl. Okay, that's over and done with. Playoffs are done. We're moving on. It's Dub City. Okay, let's come on. Let's grab life by the balls.
You know what?
Okay,
I'm glad that you came out and you brought up that comment about Atlanta. Because there was something that I meant to put up a while ago, and I didn't, and then it popped up again in the comments from Tuesday's episode. Okay, so I'm gonna put it up here for you, Chris. I don't know if you've seen this.
Do you want to read it, or do you want me to read it?
You can read it.
I mean, Lucas Cock. I'm sorry. I'm like a teenager. He says, "I can't wait to see your American faces when Miami will win 3 trophies next year, and your football knowledge will be exposed again." That's what that laugh looks like.
Did we? I felt like we predicted that they were going to win a couple trophies last year.
Yeah.
I've come out and said that even though Mascherano is the new coach and I'm not thrilled with it, I still think that they should win 1 or 2 trophies next year. They should win the MLS Cup next year. Why are American faces going to be exposed for lack of knowledge? Like, I just thought that was an interesting comment. I was like, I don't know why he's coming at us. Is it because we're American and that's it?
I would love if the chat wants to chime in. I mean, no, you know what? Let me not do that. I'll do that on Discord. Let's do that on Discord.
All right. Now that leads me into the next topic. And if anybody in the chat wants to bring up anything else about the Club World Cup, feel free. Oh, and by the way, on Tuesday, I brought up that today was going to be the award show. Now, Chris and I were talking. We weren't able to get something that we were happy with as far as categories.
Yeah.
So we want to make it entertaining. So we decided we're going to push off until Monday. Monday, 100%, we're going to have the award show. We're going to come up with some categories. And again, if you guys want to jump in the Discord or here or in the comment section afterwards, let us know some topics that you think that we should have. Just let us know. But we're going to have that for you 100% on Monday. All right. So something else that came out. They were wondering if there was a possibility that the Leagues Cup would not be around next year. Okay. Now, it came out that it is going to be here, right? The Leagues Cup is here next year.
Yeah.
Not in Miami, but just in general. It is returning, despite the fact that we're going to have the Gold Cup going on in the country, right? In the United States, the Gold Cup will be happening, and the Club World Cup will be happening, and we're going to have the Leagues Cup. So it's going to have 3 tournaments going on in this country in the month of June and July, and some of August for the Leagues Cup, right? So it's going to be kind of crazy, but this is where this came up, and I got to reach out to her again. She says that she would come on the show, and I forgot to reach back out to her. But Lizzie Becerrano came out and said, new update. Leagues Cup is considering a format that sees only 18 MLS teams participate in the upcoming edition. The 2025 iteration of Leagues Cup would pit 18 MLS teams against 18 Liga MX teams. Now, again, this is something that's being considered. It is not 100% for sure yet. I think this is the first time you see this.
Yes.
I hadn't brought it up to you purposely because I wanted to get your genuine reaction. What do you think of this?
So let me get this straight. So that means on one side, you would have a bracket of MLS teams playing each other until the final.
I don't think so.
Okay, so would it be like a hodgepodge, kind of like what we had last year?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So it would be 18 teams, 18 out of the 30 teams that we're going to have, right? Because next year we have San Diego, we have 30 teams. And what I would assume is that it's possibly 9 teams from the Eastern Conference and 9 teams from the Western Conference, maybe, something like that.
Yeah, it would
So
be.
Now, I heard about this only a couple hours ago, right? And the little bit I've gotten to think about it. This is how I would imagine it. And in the chat, you let us know what you think. I would imagine that the way this goes is teams that qualify for the Champions Cup, maybe they don't have to worry about Leagues Cup. But then again, Champions Cup ends before the Leagues Cup.
Yes.
So maybe teams that are part of the Club World Cup don't have to volunteer in Leagues Cup. Right? So that would rule out Inter Miami and Seattle.
Yeah.
And then any other team, I don't know what the qualifications would be. Maybe the top 18 teams that don't include Inter Miami or so the playoffs teams. I don't know. But
Yeah.
I don't know what the qualifications would be.
Or is it like a draw? A
maybe
balls draw?
No, I think it would, because they usually do it by rankings, right? They've ranked them even last year. That's how you find out who has home field advantage and all that stuff. They do it by rankings. So I think maybe the top 18 teams that don't include Inter Miami or Seattle, and then the bottom 12 would probably go and participate in the U.S. Open Cup. And that way you satisfy both, right? You get the people that want Open Cup. Well, you're in the Open Cup if you're not participating in the Leagues Cup.
I mean, it's not a bad idea, but like, why would it necessarily have to be the top teams? Why can't?
Because I feel like the MLS takes the Leagues Cup more serious than the Open Cup. So it's like, hey,
yes,
they want to make it look like it's almost like, hey, you have the, like, you know how people are like, ooh, you didn't get relegated. Guess what? You get to stay in the top division. You get to ass kick next year also. So it's like, hey, guess what? You get to be in the Leagues Cup next year, and then whoever didn't make the cut, don't worry, you still get a competition. You could be in the Open Cup, right?
Yeah.
You didn't make the cut, but you can still play in the Open Cup with the minor leaguers. Like, that's how they're gonna do it.
I mean, I could see something like that. I think that would be. I think that would be nice.
No, and I think that Miami and like Sean said, I think Seattle and Miami, because they're in the Club World Cup, will probably not be invited for the Leagues Cup. Maybe they'll be playing in the Open Cup. I don't know.
Ugh, yuck. I mean, I guess, but like, wouldn't they be able to kind of just like rotate and still stay within those tournaments? I mean, we were hopping from game to game like every other week, like but within tournaments.
I'm also wondering, how does this look? The MLS, I don't believe, is going to stop for the Club World Cup. So if the MLS, so if they don't stop for the Club World Cup, how does that look for Inter Miami? Because that means that's like, obviously depending on how far they go, but hypothetically, if they make it, let's say, to the final, which they probably won't, but if they make it to the final, they miss a full month of MLS play. So when do they make up those games? That's going to be a very congested schedule that they have outside of the summer. You're going to have a lot of Wednesday games, and I fucking hate Wednesday games.
Yeah, those are the worst.
We're going to have a lot of Wednesday games because you have to make up a lot of games unless they start the season in the beginning of February or they end the season at the end of October, and all of a sudden the final is moved almost to Christmas.
Yes, so it would have to be that. Look, there's a bunch of people that are saying that the MVP got confirmed. It was leaked, but then it got confirmed. I guess maybe Messi got confirmed to be MVP. I mean, I'm pretty sure, as you could see, Danny is sending the crack staff after this, and we're checking to see if this is actually happening as we speak. But in the meantime, in between time, I mean, Steve Munoz just says it, Messi MVP. We got Esteban Dito saying mas greedy, mas corrupt, mas mafioso. Look, they want money, man. This is the whole purpose of making this brand right here global.
But you know what? That's my thing. I'm sorry, Chris, to cut you off.
Yeah.
But I saw somebody commented in something. I haven't seen the Messi thing. I haven't seen it. Somebody commented, it's like, oh, but that's what happens when Inter Miami cares more about the money than the fans. You know what? I hate to break it to you, but the majority of sports franchises around the world, so even if you are a Chelsea fan or a Barcelona fan or wherever the hell you're from, I promise you that, it's saying that it's in the Discord. Okay, I'll have to check that. I promise you that even though you think your club cares more about you than the money, I promise you they don't.
Yeah.
Maybe they care about you, but they care about the money more. Money is the bottom line when it comes to this because this is a business. Us fans, we're fanatics. We love it. We get battered by it. But the people that own these teams, it's a business. It's all about the money.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and everybody knows that it's about the money. I'm looking at our Discord, and for those of you later, I'm pretty sure that we'll tag the Discord down below in the comments section or whatever. I mean, they posted Jose Armando's tweet, which has like one of those hourglasses with the go and a trophy. Like, I mean, that's not confirming, guys. That's just 3 emojis together. I mean, can I put emojis together and confirm something?
I mean,
is that a confirmation?
They're reading into it, and obviously Jose doesn't want to get in trouble, so he's just hinting at it.
You guys got your aluminum foil hats on here, guys. Like, what's going on? You guys see 3 emojis and you spaz out. Like, give it time.
All right,
this guy's trying to solve the Da Vinci Code out here.
Hey, man, you gotta let it happen.
Yeah,
all right. Let me just tweet that off.
Dennis Lopez is saying they care about your money more. Yeah, they do, man. It's like the whole reason that Jorge Mas is like shooting for the stars with all this. And there's a comment that somebody mentioned earlier. As far as Bigote, let's not do all that. I'm not. Listen, zombies float. Like, I've seen them in movies. Like, I mean, in all the movies. Okay, we're gonna get to that as soon as possible. But back to soccer talk. Okay, at the end of the day, like, this is the reason that Mas is like willing to cough up gajillions of dollars. Like, he said it in the press conference where he's like, we're not hesitant to pay people money. So,
all right.
And this isn't Barbies, guys. What this is it's that cat show that's on Nickelodeon. I forgot what the show is called.
My kids don't watch Nickelodeon.
It's not Nickelodeon.
My kids watch Disney.
Listen, they put Disney stuff there too and everything, but it's what is this? It's like a cat show. No, it's not Bluey. Bluey is a fucking dog, isn't it? Isn't Bluey a dog?
Mm-hmm. Bluey's the best show out right now.
Yeah, Bluey is the best show out right now. It's like this girl with a cat.
Is it Gabby Dollhouse?
Yes, Gabby's Dollhouse. This is a Gabby's Dollhouse. So
got you.
Get it right, guys.
All right. All right. Now let's get into. So we got Leagues Cup. Anything else you want to talk about Leagues Cup?
No, man. We
don't know. We don't know anything, right? Nothing's confirmed. It's just the rumblings going around. If it's 18 MLS teams, this is just my assumption that the other 12 teams left over might probably go to the Open Cup. I haven't heard anything. We don't even know if it's confirmed that it's only going to be 18 teams, but that would be my assumption, right? They go into the Open Cup. It makes sense. And maybe only 10 teams, and then the 2 teams, Seattle and Inter Miami, they don't participate in either one of them. But we'll see. All right, and now expansion draft. The expansion draft is on December 11th.
December 10th, the players, the list of players that are eligible for selection have to be communicated by December 10th.
And we're allowed to protect 12 players. So Chris and I were having this debate on the phone because I don't know why I put up with his shit, but we were all going back and forth arguing. And we were talking about what players are going to get protected. Now, and Italia's asking if we haven't found out any news about the players that were either signed or not signed, re-signed. We have no idea. They're not being transparent with that. But there are 12 players that can be protected. Chris is really worried about this, apparently. He's very, very worried that we're going to lose. Like, he thinks that we're going to lose Messi or something. Like, I don't know. I don't understand why he's hyperventilating with me on the phone.
You should tell everybody what you told me on the phone about Messi.
Oh, I told him, no, don't protect him. They can't draft him.
Hold on. Let that sit. Let that sit. Wait. Let that sit. Let that sit for a couple seconds. Guys, Danny just said, don't protect Messi. I just want to let that sit there, just to let the chat kind of like muster up here. I mean, look at what's happening in the chat. You got LMAOs, LMFAOs, you got LOLs.
Do you really think that they would have the balls to be like, hey, Messi, greatest player of all time? Sorry, America, expansion draft, you got to come move to San Diego now. Fuck out of here. Like, oh, man. Absolutely not. They wouldn't have the balls to do that. MLS wouldn't allow them to do that.
Look,
So
Dennis
even if
Lopez is
even if he's
co-signing
not protected, San Diego's not going to be like, oh, Messi's not protected. Let's go get him. So no, Apple's not going to help pay for him over there in San Diego.
I have a question though, because there's people that are on your side here. Now, Pablo Golazo, you think he's going to pull off the Eli Manning here?
Yeah, he's not going to go.
There's no way he can just say, I don't want to go. Like,
of course
when they
he
pick
can.
him, you think he's just gonna like be on a broadcast and be like, I don't want to go? Like,
no, he's gonna raise his eyebrow. He's gonna be like, MLS, so you really gonna lose me because you want me to go over there in a fucking expansion draft? Get out of here. Now, and again, I repeat, I wouldn't, or I think it would be funny if they didn't, because I think it would be stupid. It would be stupid for them to try to draft him. But letter of the law, if he is available, although I don't think they would have the balls to do it, and I would just save my other 12 pieces for somebody else, I do expect them to protect them, and I would protect them just because, right? Just because. Because once it goes out to the media and it's like, hey, these are the 12 players that Inter Miami protected, everyone's going to be like, oh my God, they didn't protect Messi. Oh my God, they didn't protect Messi. But
Bigote is saying it's an oil club.
Messi doesn't want to move to San Diego.
How awkward would that be?
Well, like I said, I don't think that they would do it, but to avoid the PR mess that it would be, obviously you protect them, right?
Yeah.
So I said that in gist. Chris brought it up just because he wanted to see the chat blow up. I never actually said or meant like, please don't protect him, right? Chris just gets a rise out of the chat.
I do.
So obviously Messi will be protected. So that's one. So we got 11 left. Now, I don't think there's anything to worry about because we have 12 players to protect and they cannot. We don't have to protect the homegrowns. So Kremaki, safe. Noah Allen, safe. Ian Frey, safe, right? So the homegrowns, we don't have to protect. So who's left? We have the 4 Barcelona guys, right? Messi, Suarez, Alba, and Busquets.
You got Calendar, who's a homegrown as well.
But is he older than 25?
Ooh, yeah, I think so.
Because as long as they're not 25 or older, you don't have to protect them. I'll tell you right now. Yeah, he's 27, so you have to protect him.
Yeah, so you do have to protect him.
Yeah, so you have those 4. Then you have Redondo. That's 5. So who else am I missing? Who else do you want to protect?
Okay, so hold on. Go back, because I was over here doing stuff.
The 4 obvious Barcelona guys.
Yes.
Redondo, that's 5. Farias, 6. Campana, 7.
Aviles.
Aviles, 8.
So you're not protecting Gressel?
No. I think Gressel's
You think they're not going to protect Facundo Farias?
Yannick Bright. I already said Farias. Yannick Bright, that's 9. I'm missing 3.
Matias Rojas.
That's 10. I got 2 more spots.
I mean, in a perfect world, I tell you Taylor.
Okay, Taylor. You still got 1 more. Who else are you forgetting?
I mean, Campana.
I already said him.
You said Campana.
Yeah. I'm doing this exercise just to tell you that there's nothing to worry about.
Look, Gus is saying Martinez.
Who? David Martinez. Okay, that's okay. So that's 12. So I just said 12 players. Who did I leave out? I left out Franco Negri. I left out Julian Gressel, and I left out Drake.
Drake would be the guy. No, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, did I say anybody that you think won't get protected? Like, I don't
I
think
think
that there's
Robert
much to
Taylor
worry
won't
about.
be protected.
Okay, there
I
you
think
go. I don't
Robert
think
Taylor's not going to be
I
protected.
think you're right. So take out Robert Taylor. So
I
you
think
could
that
put
they
in
might protect Wagon over Taylor.
Wagan is out of a
Unfortunately,
contract. He's not with us.
it doesn't matter. You still have to protect it because according to the rules, from what I see here,
he's not ours. He was on loan.
let's see.
Well, regardless, I'm not too worried. We're not going to lose anybody that's going to be like earth shattering. So Chris called me hyperventilating. Oh my God, what's going to happen? They might not even draft anybody from our team. They only get 5 picks from the entire league. 5 picks from the entire league. So they might not even grab one of our guys. So I am not worried about the expansion draft. It's interesting to see who they choose to protect, right? That's a talking point just for us talking heads. But I'm not worried about it at all.
I mean, Lawrence is saying they'll keep Drake. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, the jury's kind of out with Drake at this point.
Oh, this is a good one. Emerson, for sure he won't get protected, but they won't get him. They won't take him.
Yeah,
but that would save Inter Miami so much of a headache.
No, it wouldn't. Are you kidding me? That left winger, that's
they have to figure out. They have to figure out another way to loan him out again next year. Like it's becoming difficult. No team wants to keep him. It's like loan with an option to buy, and everybody sends his ass right back.
I mean, look, a lot of people are mentioning Campana, right? Like people want him out, and I guess people do see that Alfonso, who
is a homegrown.
You know, well, let me see here. I'm not sure he's a homegrown. Let me just double check here. Alfonso, from what I see here, hold on, because he has a different. No, it doesn't show that he's protected. He's not an international. He's not a homegrown. Nothing. I don't see any sort of assigned sort of role to him. So Alfonso was a draft.
Oh, that's right. He was a draft. Him and Yannick Bright. Were both drafted. That's right. Well,
now, I mean, nobody's going to grab Alfonso. People are probably going to grab Campana before Alfonso, but it seems like this team is okay with having Alfonso behind Suarez instead of Campana. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm gas bagging.
Yeah, shout out Stancy. I hope you feel better. I do not think anybody would feel comfortable with Alfonso as the backup. To look, say what you want about Campana. Campana gets called up to his national team. Campana, even though I give him crap about not being a DP, I think as a backup, I think he's great. Alfonso, we've seen him in bits and pieces. He's looked good here and there, but I'm not feeling confident about going into Club World Cup, where everybody's like, oh, we need to beef up the roster. Leo Alfonso is our backup striker to Suarez, which is, although still defying the knee god's odds, I don't feel comfortable with him being the backup to Suarez. No.
The worst part is, to be perfectly honest, is like Alfonso kind of screams a little Indiana Vassilev to me. No,
like he didn't show. Like at least Indiana Vassilev, although he didn't do anything while he was playing, he played. Right?
Yes,
Leo Alfonso hasn't played, so I think Alfonso is one of those players that you don't have to protect, and he's not going to get drafted.
There's no way Farias is behind Suarez, soccer daddy. No way.
More of a chance than Alfonso.
And Robbie Robinson, by the way, if you want
long
to
gone.
feel, he's long gone, not even on a contract. Like he is gone. Yeah, he's not on here.
All right.
Guys, Sedano somewhere.
Those were the 3 topics for the day. I don't know if you have anything else that you want to bring up about the Club World Cup, the Leagues Cup, or the expansion draft, which starts next week. Will we protect Emerson? No. They're going to dare anybody to take him. They'll probably send a Big Mac along with him. It's like, croqueta preparada. Here, take a... Special Miami delivery. Go.
Or in arepa because he's Colombian, Papa. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's your
arepa
boy.
con
That's your
queso.
boy.
Arepa, yeah, just because he's Colombian doesn't mean I have to like him.
You come on. He'd be
Do
solid.
you
Imagine him.
Do you like every
from
Cuban
Messi.
on this world?
No, but like
I
Emerson
don't
is.
like.
is
I don't like Jerry Mina. I can't stand that guy. And he's Colombian.
well, they brought it up on the MLS show. Imagine if you was to be center back with us.
Oh my god, I would.
Oof.
I hate that guy. Yeah. All right. Arepa de huevo. So, all right. I think that we've come to the end, and I think that we can pick up real quick where we left off. Now, last episode, we were talking about zombies. Yes. If this is the first time watching this show, I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
We were talking about zombies. And if you haven't, please hit the like button before we start this conversation because you might dislike the show afterwards. So we started talking about zombies and the fact that I think that they walk underwater. Chris thinks they float.
I'm not saying they float. I didn't say they float. What I said is like they don't have the mechanics to be swimming.
But
like
they walk.
What? Like what's his face? Freaking Mr. Krabs is saying I float. Listen, let me tell you, I'm a good swimmer. Okay, I'm a really good swimmer. As a matter of fact, by the way, zombies when they fall in the water, they just like boom, they just fall. Like they're not bringing out the Michael Phelps. They can't swim to your boat. Like they're just falling into the ocean or the water.
All right, so.
Actually, before be a boss in Call of Duty Zombies.
Wait, before we do the zombie talk, the MLS Cup is this Saturday. Very disappointed because I got my wife to agree to spend our wedding anniversary at the stadium, and it's not happening anymore. Now I gotta have a regular anniversary, which sucks. But Chris, who's winning, Galaxy or the Red Bulls?
Red Bulls.
Galaxy
are cooked.
I'm rooting for them, and I also think that they might win. The way the Red Bulls, the Galaxy looked against the Sounders, which have a good defense, they looked like they could be beat. Right? They got a moment of brilliance from Ricky Puig and Joveljic, and they won 1-0. So I'm rooting for the Red Bulls, and I think that the Red Bulls could win. And if you are interested in hearing more about that from people that actually cover the Galaxy and the Red Bulls, check out Battered MLS Fans. Yesterday, we had a full hour-long episode previewing the final. So go ahead and you can join in. You can enjoy that show and find out the ins and outs of both teams and how they think the game's going to turn out.
All right, let's get to the important stuff. Steve Munoz is saying zombies don't have gases in the air or air in their bodies to float. So yeah, they sink. Like I said, look, when the zombie falls in the water, they fall in the water and like
on their feet.
They fall on their feet, but like they hit the ground and then they start walking.
That's what I'm saying.
If you're over 6 feet of water, they're cooked. They're down.
That's what I've been saying. Oh,
but what I'm telling
who has a pool that deep?
What do you mean? There's pools that are like 7 feet, 8 feet. What I'm telling you is pools are done because when you have 50 zombies walking in, at some point they're gonna pile.
Chris, if the pool is 10 feet, unless you are a 3-foot midget and the zombie is coincidentally also a 3-foot midget, they'll still be able to bite you. Your legs are hanging down and they are standing up, Chris.
Okay, first of all, let's get something straight. I never said the water was a good idea.
Well, you were the one talking about the pool and how they're going to die or drown.
You asked me if being in the center of the pool is a good idea. I told you no.
I never said that. I said, do you think
that
they could walk underwater and get you? That was my question. And it ended up being a conversation.
They can. They could walk to you on the water. If it's 8 feet, at some point, they're going to pile up so much that they're going to walk on their boys to get you.
Chris, they don't need it to. If it's a regular 5'10" human being standing up, all they need you is to be what? You said 10 feet? All they need you is to be 4 feet tall and they can get to your feet.
What if I'm on a boat?
In the pool?
I mean, listen, I got to do first of all, like I said, I wouldn't be near a pool.
Oh,
I wouldn't be
gosh.
near a pool. I wouldn't even be on a cruise ship. You're the one that's going to see everybody at the cruise ship. And then you're going to blow up. Because at some point, that ship is going to blow up because everybody's just going to kill themselves. And then the zombies are going to attack that cruise ship. Any of you wanting to go on a cruise is awful.
Don't tell me where your location is because I know it's top secret and you really believe this is going to happen one day.
No, I'm going to say it.
What is the best strategy?
Listen, I'm going to say it. So for those of you that live locally in Miami, there is a plaza on 8th Street and out west. I'm not going to say where it is exactly, but I'll kind of picture it for you guys. Okay.
There's a plaza every 7 blocks.
All right. So there's a McDonald's there. There's a daycare there. There's a gun shop there. And it's very unknown. Nobody really knows too much about it. And there's a repair shop for like vehicles and stuff like that. And there was a 7-Eleven there. Now it's like a Colombian shop and some other restaurant. If I go there, because everybody's going to go to Walmart. Everybody's going to go to Walmart. Everybody's going to go to these big complexes. Okay. Yes, there is a gun shop by a daycare. Absolutely.
America.
Yes.
America.
It's America, baby. I mean, come on. What are we doing? So I'm going to go there first before everybody. Right. And I'm going to hold down the gun store because that's where everybody's going to go. Right. I'm going to hold it down with Danny because like I already got it. I already got it.
I think it's more west than that.
FIU, it's more west than FIU.
That's what I figured.
It's actually right by the turnpike. You're getting close though, Mitch. You're getting close. So right there, I'll hold down the gun shop. Everybody's going to go to the gun shop, but then you're done. You're going to get guns. I already got the guns. So I'm just going to kill anybody that wants to come get the guns, unless you're my boy.
So you're killing people. You're killing people.
I mean, what? You're going to come through and take my guns? There's no way you're taking my guns. That's my guns. I already claimed the whole plaza.
Oh, I see. So you're not like hanging out in the daycare or something. You're just taking over the whole plaza.
Well, I'm gonna take the whole plaza over, but I'm taking the gun store first. Like eventually, I'm gonna break walls down to go through the plaza. Literally own the whole plaza. I mean, at that point, I own the whole plaza. There's no way anybody is gonna take me over.
Okay.
I haven't murdered anyone, Mr. Krabs. Like,
so what happens when you run out of bullets?
I'm not. I have a whole gun store for myself at the moment.
Well, you saw The Walking Dead. It lasted how many years?
Well, but like for my takeover, I got enough ammo for my whole takeover.
Okay, what happens afterwards?
Well, I mean, after like I'll go ahead and I'll do whatever I need to do. Like for example, like I got the McDonald's there. I'll have food.
No, okay. Well, McDonald's food does last forever for sure.
All right, I got the Colombian place. If I wanted arepa during the zombie apocalypse, I got it. What do you got? I got daycares. My kids are gonna get taken care of in a daycare. You're gonna go to Dolphin Mall, Pablo. You're cooked. There's no way you survive that.
From what I'm seeing is you've told me always, and this is the first time that me and Chris just have a one-on-one conversation about this. You've always told me that you have the perfect plan. What I've come to realize over the last 5 minutes is that you have a perfect plan for like the first couple of days. You really haven't thought about the future. Like you're like, this is how I'm going to survive for the first 2 or 3 days.
Okay, so what I had mentioned was there's a mechanic shop that's in the same plaza. Like I said, this plaza, I'm going to be breaking walls so I can walk through the plaza instead of walking outside.
How are you going to break the walls?
Because I got stuff that I can break walls with. I could do that kind of stuff. And then I'm just
going to fly. When I see a zombie, I'm just going to fly away.
So no, I'm not. I'm going to go through my plaza. Okay. Now there's buses there. So I'm going to makeshift like a bus to kill zombies and stuff, like in the front and the spiked tires and stuff. Like I'm gonna have it all. Danny, you can go to Dolphin Mall with Pablo Golazo. Mitch, what are you? You're saying
you know what? I have a feeling that Pablo Golazzo's his plan is probably a little more realistic. You're like, I'm just
no,
gonna
it's not.
I'm gonna make a zombie killing bust. I'm just gonna randomly cook up. I'm gonna break walls. I don't know how yet. I'm just gonna do it. You haven't thought this out at all.
What do you mean? I've been working on this plan for years. There's a freaking 7-story building right next door that eventually I'm going to get to as well. I'm literally going to own 8th Street from like 137 all the way down to the turnpike. I might even branch out to FIU. So come see me, guys. I mean, listen, I am going to turn it into Twisted Metal, Mitch. I mean, I'm telling you right now, if you guys want to die, you go with Pablo Golazo and go to Dolphin Mall. What's your plan, Pablo? You're gonna go to Dolphin Mall. What are you gonna do? You're gonna go to Dave and Buster's. You know everybody's gonna try to own Dolphin Mall.
I was
How are
saying,
you
they
gonna
probably have more
protect it?
food options there.
Have you not seen what is that, Dawn of the Dead, or the movie about the guys that take over the mall?
I'm not into zombie movies. I haven't watched too many of them.
There's a zombie movie where a group takes over a whole shopping mall. They all die.
I think I have seen that. Is that the one where they had the baby in the mall?
I believe so. Yes.
There, no? Yes.
And guess what? They all died. They had to leave, and they went into a boat in the ocean to an island.
What if I hadn't seen it?
Right here, Dawn of the Dead. You're cooked.
What if I hadn't seen it? Completely spoiler.
Listen, at this point, there's no reason to say spoiler alert. Like, that movie's like 15 years old.
So just because it's 15 years old, I haven't seen it.
No, that's it. No, that's too bad for you. Sorry.
Well, I will tell you. You know what I'm gonna watch with my wife tonight?
What?
Die Hard. We're gonna see what's the hype about it being a Christmas movie. See if it really is a Christmas movie. So
there is also an adult store, Steve Munoz. Let's go, baby. Wow. A daycare, a gun store, and an adult store. Listen, you got everything you need there. And a McDonald's. Steve Munoz knows where we're at. Steve, ponte adelante, and we'll meet me at the Calle Ocho, and we'll link up, buddy. Let Danny go with Pablo Golazo to Dolphin.
No, maybe I'm wrong. I probably am wrong. I probably wouldn't survive very long.
I mean, you guys in the comments are the best.
If this if this were to happen, I'm not thinking about how to bunker down where I'm at. I'm trying to figure out how to get the hell out of here.
You're gonna literally take the Palmetto or the Turnpike out of Miami. I'm
taking Chrome and north, and hoping that this isn't happening up in Orlando or Tampa or Jacksonville or anywhere like that. I'm hoping that this is just some brujeria stuff happening just in Miami.
You are literally trying to leave on an expressway from one of the most southern point places in the United States. You're done.
A lot of people don't travel up 27th.
You're so done. You're so done.
How?
You take any car leaving Miami going north. Everybody from South Florida to Central Florida to Northern Florida are all going north.
Pablo's getting with my tweety.
Brightline's cool. What? Brightline's done.
Oh,
Mitch,
look at that.
Who's playing? Yeah, I played enough COD too. Trust me, I know the circle. I know the circle trick and everything.
Ooh,
listen,
what about this? Escape to the Keys,
dude. But now,
well, I know what Chris is gonna say. He's gonna say blow up the 7 Mile Bridge, and then Chris is
yes,
gonna be like,
I have said that. Yes.
Okay, yeah, and then I'm gonna say, where are you gonna get the dynamite, Chris? Where are you gonna get the stuff to blow it up?
I'll find it. I'll find it somewhere. Look, in my original plan, I had helicopters involved. At some point, I'm gonna find a helicopter. I mean, I don't know.
If I told you, Chris, I give you 12 hours. What time is it? 10 o'clock. I'll give you till 10 in the morning to find me dynamite, and I'll give you $1 million. Would you be able to find me dynamite in the next 12 hours?
Yes.
You fucking
yes, I can, and I'll bring you a helicopter.
A helicopter, so I can believe somehow.
So that way I could plant the dynamite on the 7 Mile Bridge and then leave in my helicopter as it explodes, like movie style.
Yeah, okay. As you can see, Chris would probably be the worst person to be around in this type of scenario because he lives in the movies.
No, Danny, you're telling me that if you take over the Keys and you blow up the 7 Mile Bridge, once you kill
how are you gonna blow it up?
There, you blow it up with your dynamite and your C4s and explosives and stuff. I'm gonna find it. Listen, there's an Air Force base right by me.
No. And you're just gonna walk in there and just grab stuff?
I'm just gonna see, like, yo, let me get some explosives, my guy. And then I'll take their helicopter. I'll borrow it, and then I'll take it to the Keys, leave it onto the 7 Mile Bridge. And then I'll take over the Keys.
Now,
nobody's gonna.
What I would do is I would try to figure out how to make like
Allegedly.
a barricade of cars maybe on the 7 Mile Bridge that hopefully the zombies can't get around or something like that. But here you are just blowing shit up. Like I try to think a little more realistic, even though this is a weird conversation to have period to begin with.
I mean, you're going to be leaving on the Turnpike or the Palmetto or 95. You're so cooked. You're so cooked. You get on any expressway,
I like
you're
the
done.
keys. I like the keys thing. But again, I would make a barricade because I don't know where to find dynamite in the next 12 hours. Apparently, Chris can.
How am I a public menace?
Chris, how long would it take you to find dynamite? Which I know you can't, but in your mind.
I could probably find it in the next 6 hours. You give me 12, I'll get it to you in 6. I just need the other 6 to get the helicopter.
All right. I don't even know what to do with it. You live in the movies. I now know this. This is why you talk the way you talk, because you live in the movies.
I don't live in the movies. I got plans. Either get with it or get on the Turnpike and you're cooked. Go to Dolphin with Pablo Golazo, you're cooked. Go on the cruise ship, you're cooked. Like all your plans, you're dead within the first hour, Danny. Like sayonara. If you don't join me, you're
I'm just making a barricade on the 7 Mile Bridge.
Who's gonna be blocked by your barricade? What are you gonna use as
the zombies?
You're gonna use
cars.
You're gonna use cars, and you don't think the force of like 10,000 zombies is gonna push through a barricade of cars?
You think that's what they do? They just start walking towards it, and
I mean,
stop moving.
Yeah, at some point they're just gonna keep pushing and pushing until all the cars get. Listen, I've seen guys.
It's a 7 Mile Bridge.
I've seen guys on Only and Date flip over a car, like 7 guys just flip a car back over on its wheels.
It's a zombie. They just look. I don't claim to know as much about zombies as Chris does because he plays a lot more video games than I do. But I'm sorry, I don't think that they're getting through a 7 Mile Bridge.
Well, you know how I know they're not getting through a 7 Mile Bridge? By blowing it up.
You don't know where to get dynamite.
I do. Eventually, I'm gonna get it.
All right.
Eventually, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna break that bridge, and then I'm gonna live comfortably while you put barricades, and then 10,000 zombies just blow. Well, Steve Munoz is mentioning, imagine fighting off horny zombies because of the adult store. I'm just saying, guys, a plaza with a McDonald's, an adult store, a daycare, and a gun shop, and a mechanic shop. You literally have everything you need. You literally have everything you need. There's nothing else that you need. You have food.
You know what I think would have been great for this conversation? I think having Tommy One Time right here would have been really fun to have for this conversation. Because I can't imagine the dumb shit that Tommy One Time would say.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, at this point, we're already too late. We're 1 hour and 12 minutes in.
Oh, he came in guns loaded. He wanted to talk zombies right off rip.
Yeah, but now he's not in the chat. He just disappeared. He's probably looking for dynamite.
All right. Any final words, Chris?
Soccer Daddy, you need adult store because adults like adult stores, I guess.
That's
I don't know. I don't need it.
True.
I don't need it. I don't care about adult stores, but it's there just in case. Listen, I'm a mechanic. I know how to work on cars, and the mechanic place is there. That doesn't mean I'm going to be working on cars. I'm going to be working on my zombie killing bus.
You know, just randomly learn how to construct.
Listen, I got plans, Danny. I got plans. You go barricade the bridge, and you go to Dolphin Mall and die in 1 hour.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was enough for battered zombies. We'll see if we can start this again. All right. I already asked you for your final words.
Yeah. No. This is perfect right here. 1 more, 1 go. Thank you so much for saying this, dear YouTube, because there's people in YouTube that apparently watch this and do stuff with the video. Dear YouTube, they are just gas bagging and kidding. We are not going to blow up bridges. We're not taking over helicopters.
He's not going into the Air Force Base to steal the dynamite.
No, this is all obviously, hypothetical zombie talk. Now, I mean, if there's zombies out there, then I don't know. With Santeria, you can control the zombies. I'm sorry. I can't. Mr. Krabs, come on, man. We're having fun out here.
All right.
Use your thumbs.
Well, and please don't forget that on Monday, we're going to have our 2nd annual award show. So please tune in for that. That should be fun. We usually have a lot of fun with that. And then at some point this weekend, I will tweet out and I'll put it in the Discord. I will put the category so that you guys can vote, and then we kind of predict what we would choose, and then we see what the actual winner is, because that's you guys vote for it. So that should be fun. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. We appreciate you guys doing that and helping us out. All those likes and subscribers really help grow the channel. And I think that's it for tonight. So if you are listening on audio, we appreciate you listening all the way to the end. Please leave us 5 stars, comment, review, all that good stuff. If you're looking for merch for the Christmas season, go visit batterfans.com. You get 20% off with promo code HOHOHO24. We got new shirts in. We're putting in new shirts this weekend, so go ahead and check that out. And if you are watching on YouTube, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please leave us 5 stars, comment, review, all that other good stuff. And as always, for those of you guys in the chat, you guys are the best part of the show. If you guys didn't jump in and join in the conversation, it just wouldn't be as fun. So we appreciate each and every one of you guys. And we'll be back on Monday for the award show. Until the next one, have a good one.
Meet me at the